Hey guys, welcome back to another tutorial today. So we're going to be making this very particular dress which is for children. So let's head straight to it, okay? It's for a 7-year-old and these are the measurements that I used. So here is the pattern, the basic blouse pattern where I'm going to be getting my peplum top. So those three lines are actually like 11, 11.5 and 12. So I'm yet to determine which one I'm going to be using. So I'm either going to be using the 11, 11.5 or 12. Also at the hemline, I did same thing. I marked the three kind of 1 inch and kind of something like that. 19, 19.5 and 20 and 20. So I'm yet to determine which particular one that I'm going to be using. Okay. So I've decided to use 11.5 and this is the upper bodies of it. So I'm marking the mid part, the mid point of my shoulder, and I'm going ahead to connect it to her bust apart measurement. I'm actually not adding any darts. She's a child. There's no bust, there are no pointed areas where you want to add fullness. So I'm not adding any darts. I'm trying to use my French curve to make this armhole princess seam look nice, like make the shape look nice. Okay, so that is what I'm doing right now. I think this is okay, so I'll go ahead to cut it open like this. And yeah, that's it for the upper front bodies. Okay, so I'll set it aside and head straight to the lower bodies. I'm actually using 19.5. As you can see, I'm cutting from the middle. I'm using 19.5. And so I'll go ahead to draw in my slash lines because I'll be slashing and spreading this very particular pattern to get my peplum. So I'm going ahead to cut two but not through because we need a flare. I'm going to cut open like so. So this is what I'm having. I'm going to have to cut everything and I'm spreading it out on a fresh pattern paper which has another color so it's more understandable and you see what I'm doing clearly, okay? I'm spreading as wide as possible so that when she wears it, it's full on her and it doesn't like kind of it's full on her. Okay, I want to make sure the peplum is as full as possible. Also consider your fabric. I actually use 1 yard of lace, and for the skirt I use 1.5 yards of fabric. So this is it, and this is what the front bodies look like. Okay, so we'll head straight to the back pattern. Also same thing for the back pattern. I'm going to be using the third line. And also I'm going ahead to mark my mid shoulder, which is already there. And I'll be using my set square to connect that mid shoulder to the bust about measurement to create a princess seam armhole for the back, okay? To create a princess seam armhole for the back. And that is what I'm doing right now. So I'll go ahead to, since I'm okay with what I'm seeing, I'll go ahead to use my scissors to cut it off. And this is what it looks like. And I'll set it aside, and also same thing that we did to the front, we'll also be doing to the back for the peplum of the back, okay? And here is it. This is the center back. This is the back pattern, everything in place, and also this is the front pattern. So we are done with the upper bodies, the top, sorry, and we'll go straight to the skirt. As you can see, the measurement of my waistline and my hip length, they are the same thing. That is because I'll be adding a rope and not a zipper so that it will be easier for her to kind of extend the waist and wear it from her legs up onto her waist, okay? So the measurement of my waist and my hip are same thing because I'm going to be using a rope and not a zipper. So I'm going ahead to mark the point. I'm actually making an 8-panel skirt. So I'm trying to mark a point where I'll be dividing this very particular piece into two so that by the time I cut, I'll be having 4 in front and 4 at the back. So I'm going to be using 2.5 inches all the way like so. From the top to the down, I'm going to be using 2.5 inches and that is what I'm marking right now. So I'm going ahead to mark this right now. With my ruler, I'm trying to join the 2.5 inches line all the way like so. So I haven't done that. This is what it looks like all the way to the hemline. So I'm going ahead to cut this all the way through because I'll be needing an 8 panel, 2 in front, 2 at the back. So for this very front pattern, I'm going to be cutting like so all the way. And exactly what we are doing for the front is the same thing that we're doing for the back. So having done that, I'm going to be working on this very particular piece first, okay? So remember where your center front is and where the side front is. Also, this is my knee line, okay? Raised knee, this is my raised knee line. So having done that now, so this is what it looks like. And I'm heading straight to the sewing now. This is my center front. I'm going to have to attach the satin to the lace fabric. I'm removing the stones so that it doesn't obstruct my sewing. And then I'm going ahead to sew all the way down like so. So you want to remove every stone so that it doesn't obstruct your sewing. Then having done that, this is what it looks like. I'm going to have to also sew up the other side. I'm actually turning it this way because I don't want to start sewing from the waistline so that it doesn't go out of alignment, something like that. So I prefer that I start from this very tip where I've started, the tip of the shoulder, like so. And at that point, I'm very sure that everything is in place, okay? So that's what I'm doing right now, sewing all the way down. So I'll go ahead to join the princess seams together to form a whole piece. I marked some notches that will help me to align them in place. So the other side, same thing again. I'll go ahead to sew, following my notches so that everything is in place, like it is the way it's supposed to be. So I'm sewing all the way down like so. So heading straight to the back, I'm also going ahead to sew the princess seam of the back like so. I'm also trying to make sure that everything aligns, okay, just so I don't misplace things. Everything is in alignment so I don't misplace things, okay. That's what I'm sewing right now. So I've joined the lining and I've marked my measurement for the front and back. So I'm going ahead to sew, stitch up the side seam, like shaping it from the sides. So I'm making sure that my front measurement and my back measurement are aligning with each other and I'm sewing on the same line. So heading over to the finishing of the shoulder, just so I get that neat finishing. Now I've done this severally in most of my videos, but I'll go ahead again to repeat it. Just watch closely. This is what I'm doing. I'm picking the fabric first and kind of opening it up. Okay. I'm picking up the fabric first and kind of opening it up. I'm going ahead to hold it like so, and then I'm stitching it. Just you're stitching at the place where it aligns most. Be sure you hold it first. If you have a pin, you pin it down, then you start sewing. Also go ahead to sew the linings together, front and back. And this is what we're having, and the lining neatly finished. Okay, so having done that, this is what it looks like. I'm going ahead to join the peplum now for the front and the back using the measurements that we used in stitching the upper bodies. That is what we're going to be using to sew up the peplum. So I'm going ahead to attach the peplum of the front from my center front all the way to the side. I'm going to be stopping about half an inch before the side seam. So I'm going to have to sew the other side also. I haven't given this a nice press. The electricity is out, but I'll do that. As soon as it comes up, I'll give it a very nice press. So here is it, like so. This is what it looks like. Same thing I'll also be doing to the back. I'm cutting up the zipper allowance, so I line it with the upper bodies, okay? I line the zipper allowance of the peplum with that of the upper bodies. So I'm going ahead to sew the peplum also to that of the waistline of the back, okay? And I'll be leaving about half an inch before the seam line, the side seam, before the side seam. And you want to join this together where it aligns with the side seam, and I'll be sewing all the way down. The reason why I'm folding this up is because the lining is in excess, and if I don't fold it up, it will cause that very particular one to be longer than the other. So since the lining is in excess, I just needed to fold up the lining, and it's not going to affect the fabric. So I'm stitching up at the waistline, okay? And this is what we're having. Same thing I'll be doing to the other side. So I'm done with fixing everything that has to do with the peplum of the top. So we'll head straight to sewing the sleeve. So I have two pieces of a cap sleeve, which I'm going to be attaching like so. I already marked where is front and where is back. So I'll go ahead to attach the center to center and make sure that the front of the cap sleeve is same in alignment with the front of the upper bodies and also the back. So I'm going ahead to sew up like so. So this is what the cap sleeve looks like. So heading over to the skirt, those notches that I marked are for the center front, okay? So I'm going ahead to sew on the center front. Since it's an 8-panel skirt, we are sewing on the center front to create two pieces and then the two side pieces, which is 4 in the front and also 4 at the back. So I'm going ahead to sew up like so. Like I said, I'm using 1.5 yards of fabric by 60 for the skirt. And for the top, I used 1 yard of lace and 1 yard of satin. The lining, I can't really tell how many yards it is. So I'm going ahead to put the side seams, the side panels, sorry. And I'm going to stitch up the side panels. So yeah, we have 3, and I'm going to make it 4. So here is it, four piece of the skirt front, and same thing we'll also be doing to the back. So heading over to the back, you see that very notch which is for my zipper allowance area. So you want to sew at the side, not at the center back, because the center is where that has the zipper allowance. So you want to sew, join your side panel at the side. So I'm going to have to sew all the way down. So since I am using a rope, I'm going ahead to close up my zipper allowance. But if you're using a zip, you're not closing your zipper allowance, okay? Because you're going to be fixing your zipper there. But since I'm using a rope, I'm going ahead to close up the zipper allowance all the way down. So I'm going to have to sew it all the way down, like so. And that's basically it for his panel skirt, okay? That's just it for a panel skirt. You just sew up your side seams when you add your zipper, and that's all for a panel skirt. There's nothing much. It's as easy as that. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next tutorial. Do have a lovely weekend. Bye.